Hi folks, HR Funk here, back in the shop with one last video to ring out 2019. Now I first got the idea for doing a video like this last year, and although it's almost a physically painful process for me to go through a group of firearms that I like and select my favorite one from that group, I got a lot of great response from those of you last year who saw that video, and I just thought it would be a fun way to finish off the year. So what I'm going to do, starting in just a couple of minutes, is work my way through this group of firearms that's arrayed in front of me here, and I will eliminate them one by one until I have only one left, and that will be the one that is deemed my favorite firearm of 2019. Now, a couple of caveats, and these are the same ones that were in place last year. First off, I'm not going to be looking at every single firearm introduced by every manufacturer in 2019, obviously. Also, the firearms that I have here are not every single firearm that made an appearance in one of my videos during 2019. Some of those were loaned to me, and some of those are firearms that have been in my collection for a long time. So the firearms that I have here are only ones that I actually acquired during the calendar year of 2019, which came into my collection. Each one of these firearms has appeared in at least one video, and some of them have appeared in multiple videos. So although I'm going to talk about them briefly and reintroduce them at the beginning of this video, I'm not going to talk in depth about a lot of the features and functions and performance of these firearms. But if you go back through my videos that were uploaded during 2019, you will find at least one video that features every one of these firearms, and for some of them there are multiple videos. Another quick point before I reintroduce the contestants, and that is I like all of these firearms that I'm going to be discussing. I have 7 firearms here. All of these were purchased somewhere during 2019. All of them became members of my collection, and I really like all of them. So if I eliminate one right off the bat, don't think to yourself, well, he really hates that one and he's going to get rid of it soon. I like all these firearms. If you saw the video that I made last year where I picked my favorite firearm of 2018, you may recall that there was a firearm that I acquired early in the year of 2018 that I had a lot of problems with, and really it just never performed properly, and it did not make it all the way to my year-end favorite firearm of 2018 video. It was gone before that. So the very fact that these firearms are all still here is a good indication that I really like them all. So again, I'm going to reintroduce each one of them, and then I'll start to talk about them as I eliminate them one by one and ultimately end up with my favorite firearm of 2019. And here we go, folks. It's time to reintroduce the contestants for my favorite firearm of 2019. And I'm going to reintroduce these more or less in the order that they were acquired. First firearm of the year was my Smith & Wesson M&P 40 Core fitted with the Leupold Delta Point Pro. After that was my Remington 1187 shotgun. You may recall that I made a video where I converted this from a hunting shotgun to a tactical model. Next up was my Beretta M9A3. This has been in a couple of different videos to include a qualification video to this point. After that was my Springfield Armory M1A Loaded. This one also has been in multiple videos to this point, and it's probably going to be in more as I move into 2020. After the M1A Loaded was my Rock Island Armory FS Ultra 1911 chambered for the 10mm cartridge. Next up was my Ruger Bisley Blackhawk chambered for the 44 Special cartridge. And last but certainly not least was my second Ruger of the year, which is my Ruger Precision Rimfire chambered for the 22 Rimfire cartridge. So with the reintroductions out of the way, it's time to start the actual selection process. And what I've done as I've approached this video is tried to mentally approach it like a judge would be in a trial, which is to say I've not made any decisions regarding any of these firearms to this point. I'm going to be evaluating them as I go, and I'm going to be informing you as I go step by step through this as to why I'm eliminating one firearm or another from contention. As I stand here right this moment, I don't know which one of these firearms is going to be selected. I'm going to work my way through it, and you're going to get to see it as it happens. So I'm beginning with 4 handguns and 3 long guns. And as I look at them, I'm starting to think about which one is going to be the most useful, which one is going to be most applicable for a variety of different purposes, which one's going to be the most fun, which one I just like the best. And looking at this current group is really hard because I like them all. Last year it was a little easier because there were a couple that for various reasons I didn't like that well, and they were eliminated pretty quickly, but I really like this whole group, and I'm starting to remember just how much of a gut-wrenching process this is to work my way through this group of firearms. But I think as I look at these, I don't know which one I'm going to eliminate first. I think probably the first one that's going to go, and this is difficult right off the bat, is my Ruger Precision Rimfire. Now, I like the rifle, but it's pretty specialized. It really is going to mostly be a range firearm. I might take it out and do a little bit of groundhog hunting or something like that with it, but I'm not going to be using it a lot. Now, when I do use it, I'm really going to enjoy shooting it. But hard as it is, this is going to be the first firearm that I'm eliminating from contention as my favorite firearm for 2019. And now I'm down to 6. 4 handguns and 2 long guns remain. And with each firearm that I eliminate from contention, the process to pick the next one to eliminate becomes even more difficult. And as I'm looking at the group that's left, the next one that I'm going to eliminate is extremely difficult, but it's going to be my Smith & Wesson M&P 40 Core pistol. Now, I have to emphasize, I am not eliminating the Core pistol because I dislike it. I carry this firearm every day at work. It functions fantastically. It's accurate. I like the fact that I'm able to use the optic sight with it. But this firearm for me is more of a tool. Again, it's something I carry every day, and it's not something that I reach for when I'm going out to shoot for fun. It's something that I think of more that I grab if I'm going to work. And I guess for that reason, and the fact that it's just something that I use every day, it's a work firearm, I'm going to eliminate it next from contention as my favorite firearm for 2019. 5 to go. And I think the next one that I'm going to eliminate from contention is going to be my second long gun. This is going to be my Remington 1187 shotgun. And just as I said with the M&P, I'm not eliminating it because I dislike it. In fact, I like it a lot. But this firearm I acquired for the conversion project to make it into a tactical firearm. And this has been an extremely reliable shotgun, by the way, ever since I did that conversion. I'm not sure how many rounds I've run through this, mostly double-aught buck, and it's never missed a beat. It's been extremely reliable, just a plain, flat-out good shotgun. I like it a lot, but I guess sort of like with the M&P, this is a little bit more of a tool. This is something now that I think of, and I actually do have this at work, available to me if I need it, and I tend to think of it more as a work firearm than something that is really what I would want to have for my favorite firearm of the year. So for that reason, again, not because I dislike it, but for that reason, I'm going to eliminate the 1187 next from contention. And there are 4 still left. And by the way, I've now had to re-record this segment about 3 times because I'm having such a difficult time picking the next firearm to eliminate from contention. And just so you know, the firearms still left on the table are my Springfield Armory M1A loaded, the Beretta M9A3, the Ruger Bisley Blackhawk, and my Rock Island Armory FS Ultra. And after 3 tries, the one that I'm going to eliminate next is going to be the Beretta M9A3. Just as I've said with several firearms now, I am not eliminating this pistol because I dislike it. In fact, I really like this firearm, but it doesn't have quite the intangible feel that the remaining 3 have. It doesn't have quite the soul, if you will. Not that it doesn't have soul, it absolutely does, but just not quite as much as the 3 that I still have on the table. So, for the thinnest of reasons, I am eliminating the M9A3 from contention as my favorite firearm of the year next. Of the 3 firearms that I have left, the next one that I'm going to eliminate is going to be... Wow, this is hard. Next one I'm going to eliminate is going to be the Ruger Bisley Blackhawk. This is a fantastic revolver, chambered for the 44 Special cartridge. I like it a lot. I like the 44 Special cartridge a lot. This is a great field revolver, and I suppose that's the reason I'm eliminating it. It's a little bit more of a field and hunting implement. Not that that's a bad thing, but it won't be quite the general purpose firearm. It tends to be a little bit more specialized, and I think that's the reason I'm eliminating it. But for whatever the reason, I'm going to eliminate the Ruger Bisley Blackhawk next, and that's going to leave me with 2 semifinalists. And then there were 2, folks. I'm down to my Springfield Armory M1A loaded, set up for long-range precision shooting. You may recall this rifle from the video that I made when I went to Bang Steel. It's a tremendous example of the M1A. It's very accurate, and I very much enjoy shooting it. Also, still left on the table is my Rock Island Armory FS Ultra, chambered for the 10mm cartridge. And in the video that I made with this pistol, I talked about how much I had wanted a 1911 chambered for the 10mm for years and years and years. And I finally have one. And it might take me a little bit to figure out which one of these is my actual favorite firearm of the year, because I really like both of them. I enjoy the fact that I have them in my collection. Might need to break for an intermission here, folks. And I'm back from intermission, but maybe no closer to picking my favorite firearm. This is extremely difficult because, as I said before, I really like both of these. The M1A loaded is just a tremendous rifle. It has all the attributes of the M14 and the M1A platform, plus it's extremely accurate and it's set up for long-range precision shooting. The FS Ultra has all the attributes of the 1911 pistol, and it's chambered for the 10mm cartridge. So in the end, the firearm that I'm going to pick as my favorite one for 2019 is going to be the Rock Island Armory FS Ultra, chambered for the 10mm cartridge. And here's one last look at my winner for favorite firearm of 2019, my Rock Island Armory FS Ultra, chambered for the 10mm cartridge. And I think my choice really was based on all of the things that I said about this firearm as I was discussing it in this video, everything that I talked about with this firearm when I made my video review several months ago, and the fact that I can do so much with it. The 10mm cartridge makes it extremely versatile. I can use this for defensive applications. I can use it for carry in the field. And I can even use it for hunting if I want to. So based on all that, once again, the FS Ultra chambered for the 10mm cartridge is my favorite firearm for 2019. By the way, I can already hear Skip Boyer out there saying, I knew he was going to pick the 1911 all along. Well, I didn't until I actually chose it just now. So that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, as always, make sure you forward those to me. Remember, if you order anything from Optics Planet, be sure to use my discount code, which is... And if you use that discount code, it's good for 5% off anything you purchase from Optics Planet. See you next time, folks, and until then, good shooting. Bye-bye.